with the reunion of Sookie and Rebecca, we finally have our main pair back, but with dealing with Elega and with his other little feisty little guards that he has around the place, will we be able to really have much of a competition? The answer is no, not really, because Sookie just came in and drop-kicked the piece of shit, so yeah, he kind of dealt with him quite fast, I'd say the least on that, unless we're going to be coming in with like the security gang involved, not to mention as well with Jin, like, we're probably going to have a few people on here, but now reaching the halfway point of, well, at least of like half a year, we get to see a little bit of what's been going on there. So we kind of what we get to see, like with the start of the chapter, we get to see her like immediately going in, like she just cleaned up. She was just straight up like they're done already. She was like, all right then. So is this really what the best you mercenaries can do? Because I'm not impressed. She's like they're wrecked up. All of them, like, instantly with, like, a ether blade. Like, the soul blade just cleaned up everybody. This was not something and all that, like, we can do. So, I'm glad that, like, you know, we just immediately got done with the Homer stuff, that we wasn't really going to showcase a lot of that, but we saw there, it was like, okay, she's kind of a little bit, strong. So, here's hoping that she won't be able to, like, you know, do anything really dangerous. And it was just like, oh, I'm not sated yet. Do you really think I want more? Give me my blade something more to do a little bit. Then we come back with like a lot more of like the mercenary group where we get to see with Jin and the gang, and it's like they immediately go and talk about where it's like we are like we gave you the girls, give us the goods and everything and all that, and they're talking about Elega said, you know, he's not made a policy to reward shoddy work, and he's just like, look, just at least pay us to the 29 we did deliver. That's just what we want. Come on, we just don't want to make Sister mad. Just give that, and it's just like. And they're both like, yeah, no, sorry, he's made his decision, you didn't hold up your end of the bargain. It's just like, look, just talk to him and all that. And he's like, no, hey, that's not, he's got no right to touch the goods right now, he hasn't even paid for them. And Sister just comes down and it's like, look, enough of this. I'm going to settle this with him personally. So we know that Sister's now going to be arriving up there at some point. Like, he's been hanging on like there with Pino, and it's like, okay, look, we know somewhere that she's seemingly in that building, and like she's like, yeah, let's go and bring him back. Jin does notice a little bit of something like that. Something catches him off guard, and then one of the guys gets told to kind of go disappear, which is the big fat sumo looking dude, Moscow, where it's like, you go up there and get like a return of headquarters and get some bodies and make them like remodel them. And he's like, alright then. Weirdly enough, like his weird thing is he does like the sumo like yup like stuff like that, like little hand like sumo slaps. Somehow gives him enough proportion to fly. I'm glad like people address and saying what kind of physics works that out, and it's like, he's weird, okay? If anything, he reminds me of like Fukuro from like Fairy Tail. Like, it's like, that's just that weird, you always have that weird zany person that's just like, yeah, so I'm just a half owl man that can just do things like this, just don't worry about it. And then she's like, now, you're gonna take me to Elega right now. So that happened. Then we go back to Rebecca's side, which they were always like going in and dealing with this stuff, and we kind of get a cool, like a little thing where it's like she's talking to, you know, keeping up with everyone on there, saying like, you know, oh, you're all guys on there like really great, and especially with how you are and all that. Okay, like she's like, you're really like strong and everything on that, like and they discuss. She kind of addresses that. It's like, this was all scripted. Everything about that I did with these videos, and she's there actually finding out that she is terrified. She just wants to go home. I don't want to die, please send me home. And then they kind of notice something. It's like, hey, these bubbles, they're weird, huh? Like, what do you think they are? Because they melt our clothes and they melt everything, even our metal accessories, but they're not affecting our skin whatsoever. And they're saying like, hey, but like, the walls and the floor are fine, but the bubbles are acting a little bit weird with property. And it's like, hey, was anybody wearing glass at all, like accessories? And it's just like, oh yeah, I had glasses and I had a pendant as well. And it's like, they've got a viewing screen up there, throw it at that bit of foam on there, we can get out of here. But it's like, we need to go we need to go and get up there. How are we going to get up there? And it's just like, we need to get a pyramid going up there. And it's like, yeah, human pyramid, and it's like, if 29 of us all get together, then we can calculate this and we can get this out. Then they decide to make a human pyramid full of naked ladies, so there you go. There's a whole pile of them for you, so you can just go and enjoy yourself. Again, this is another one that has like a couple of cameos in this picture, so see if you can notice the fairy tale girls like popping out on here. Which you see kind of like on the bottom right, where it's like you get to see like some of the kind of the whole dressing on there. Which I can tell on there is that one of them is Lizana, I noticed on there. One of them as well that I believe we get to see very like close up there is near the top is Lucy. I think Mira Jane is on one of them, but I couldn't actually see it like on the top picture. I'm just going by like how she is, where it's like it's pretty tough on the bottom and it kind of looks like Mira Jane, so I'm like, you know, it could be on there, but you can definitely tell there's one that's looking like Lizana, and then there's Lucy right at the top as well. Like it's clearly abundant that's Lucy, and she somehow still got a little ribbon thing on there. I was like, okay, so that's you just got those little references there on the big old booty pyramid. Is one thing to call on there. And it's just like, I'm sorry, I know I'm the lightest, but I'm afraid of heights. And it was like, no, it's okay though. It's Rebecca though, and it's just like, and I kind of like someone saying like, what? But I bet like we'd get a lot of views if someone saw us like this, and it's like, no, please don't do that. Please, we're gonna die. And it's like they're all like, we're barely holding on. Please hurry up and get it through. And it's just like, look. We're able to get through that. Luckily, like, she was able to rub it on there. She was able to hang on, and it was just like, yeah, we're fine, and I've made a hole. I'm going to get in there, and it's like, look, guys, you hang on there. I'm going to go and get help. She gets out, immediately grabs a towel, and it's just like, look, we need to go and do something on there. It's like, so she's going to be our hope, and if anything and all that, saying like, please get us some clothes. I can't go outside looking like this, and it's just like, and alright, we'll go and do that. And it's just like, we'll need a map as well. And it's like, oh, of course, and all that. That's going to be like what we need right now. Then she immediately gets sensed by Elega, and Elega like just drags, like, it's pretty brutal actually. He just like goes up, gets his tongue from the ceiling, from the air vent, and just then drags her down for like the debris. And he's like, how the hell did you get out there? And he's like, that's weird. And he's like, so you've annoyed me, so you're not going to be furniture, you're just going to be my toy. And then he's like, why are you doing this? And he's like, because I'm a villain. Lols, 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 lols. Let's like, don't pretend that there's going to be something wrong with him. He's just, I'm evil, whoa, look at me, I'm big evil frog dude, I want to look at big anime titties. Like, that's all he wants to be. And he's just like, oh, I'm having fun though. It all matters, I'm the one enjoying it. I feel sorry for people with no money and all that. They're only good for turning into furniture and holding them up my butt. So it's just like, then we find out he has a little ability, which is his tongue, which is able to electrocute people. And he's like, I'm going to play with you until you break. And the ending of the chapter is right there, because Shiki drop kicks this piece of shit Elega straight away. And a panel very harkening back to kind of Natsu invading Fairy Tail, or wherever the Dark Guild was, that with Gargiel in it, on there was like, yeah, that harkening back to an old panel like that, where it's like he is completely pissed and he straight up just dives in and rescues Rebecca. So this is going to trigger Sister coming in. This is going to trigger as well Jin and a bunch of other people. But Elega is like, yeah, don't expect him to be in much of a fighter, because he's like, well, those people do it for me. Overall, again, like the chapter, apart from a few cameos here and there, we saw the breakout that was happening. Shiki came in breaking in. It's the right chapter for the most part. Again, like I felt like this arc has been moderately fine for the most part. It's like I'm hoping a lot more that we get a little bit more development with some of the characters. It's also showing as well kind of the fact that it's like, hey, maybe some people do clickbait stuff, or like you know, on this version of YouTube, and showing as well that, you know, at least with Rebecca a little bit, that she's being kind of the team leader at the moment, and this is kind of more of her strength compared to, let's say, some of what the other people are doing, where she's like, she is taking initiative and she has a bit of drive. And other than that, like, you know, she's like someone that's like has like what, 100 or like 80 subs or something like that. She's like, no, I don't get down to me. And it's like, all you people there was like doing all this great stuff. And I imagine after the end of this, she's probably going to get a huge sub boost or something like that, where they're going to talk about their story, about what happened, and they're going to be like, oh, but Rebecca, she was the one that saved us. So we're going to see something where it's like Rebecca just goes up and say, oh, by the way, you now have 500,000, and then obviously her rival's gonna be like, you know, what the fuck, you know, what was going on? And it's just like, oh, I should have been there, like I could have been in that stuff, but I got too frightened and afraid. And it's like, that's gonna be something like what's gonna set up more into the future with their little rivalry as well. So with La Vila, so yeah, overall it's a fine chapter, but nothing too explosive or anything. But I'm curious to see, because we're gonna be getting that round 2 with Jin hopefully soon, so looking forward to that, and and everything that with Sister as well. So let me know you guys in the comment section down below. But that's all for me. Thanks all for watching, and I'll see you guys though next time.